Hey everyone, this is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Today, May 27th, 2019. Bitcoin. Yeah, talking about Bitcoin. Is there a looming major correction ahead? We're going to be taking a look at that and some of the factors that could point towards that this might be the case. But first off, please keep in mind that this is not financial advice, just my opinion. Also, look down here in the lower left. You notice the coins that I have listed: Bitcoin, ETH, and Litecoin. Yeah, don't forget about that little Litecoin guy. It's doing some stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. So if we're looking at the market, well, let's look at the overall market first here on CoinGecko. Has a market cap of around 271 billion. So that's great. That has really increased. Remember when it was below 200, guys? Yeah, and gals. Yeah, you do. So if we're looking here, yeah, there's some reds here in the hourly column, but mostly greens in the 24-hour, and lots of things are up. So that's great news and stuff like that. Okay, so what are we looking at as far as Bitcoin? Can it continue? Well, if we go over here to CoinDesk, okay, so these are indicators. We go over to CoinDesk and they're talking about regulation. All right, the perception is wrong, which is good. They're saying in this one that the perception is wrong of the general population, that the market is really better and more stable due to better arbitrage and stuff like that. So it's like that's like good news. This is like kind of good news for those into regulation. XRP golden crossover as price climbs 27%. So that's like good news. Paper wallet, yeah, okay, that's a little bit so. Paper wallet vulnerability. F1 racing game. Yahoo Japan backed crypto exchange launches. Total launches this week. So that's like good news and stuff like that. Just really a whole bunch of good news, right? So why am I like saying, oh, what's this major correction stuff going on? Well, let's go over here to the chart and let's look at the news over here. This is a different feed. Talk about 4 crypto projects undervalued. Okay. Bitcoin market efficient but small. BTC bulls aiming at $10,000. Yeah, that'd be cool. And you can just scroll down here. Bitcoin surges to 12-month high. Can it reach 10,000? So everybody's saying 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. All right, you guys get it. Okay, and just looking at the chart here, this is currently on TradingView. BTC versus USD on Bitfinex at the 45-minute. So let me scroll out here, and you guys can see what's, where we're looking at, okay? And lo and behold, there it is. So right now, on our spikes here, we're at 1, 2, and then we just had our third spike, right? Our major move up, which is nice. And usually what happens is that we could be looking at the same thing where we're at now, where we could be entering a reaccumulation phase. And that is where a reaccumulation, if you don't know, is that after a prolonged uptrend, the coin kind of like stops and goes sideways for a bit. And that's during the time period when you can call it the composite operator, the composite man, whatever you guys want to call it. Those big whales. Okay, whales is like a known name for the composite operator in this market. So the whales, that's when they're reaccumulating. They're picking up more coins and stuff like that. Okay, so we could have a similar pump here. Right after a pump, we could be looking at more sideways movement again. All right, so why a sign of weakness? Why are we looking for signs of weakness? Well, that's because, let me go out here to the 4 hour and scroll out. Yeah, I know my chart's a little messy. But if we look at the 4 hour and we get our little angle tool, and hopefully my Let me make sure I'm streaming there. Hey guys, hey, is my voice okay? I've been messing with the audio on the feed on the mic, so let me know. But anyway, so what we're looking at, if we go over here to our trading tools, get our trend angle. Our trend angle. Now if we measure it from this, let's go all the way up here. What do we have? A general overall sloping of 38%. That's a real nice, pretty steady growth, okay? That's really nice. Up here was, well, let's go over here. That's 53, so that's a little bit steeper. What is this angle here during the growth? We'll take it to the bottom of the feed here. That's 18%. Then it started going up here to the bottom of this nice spike here. That is 27%. Okay, so let's take this bad boy and we'll move him up here, bottom of the spike, and he's about 37%. Okay, so not much interesting so far. Bring it here. We bring it up here. Wow, we're looking at 84%. That's nosebleed parabolic area. Where we're at now, 75%. That's still nosebleed area, still 75%. That's pretty difficult to maintain. We do have nice upward movement here on the demand side. Excuse me. Let's go here and chart it. I've been preoccupied with charting here. Okay. So yeah, on the demand side, we have a nice upward angle here, right? Support. So down at the bottom is demand, because people buy down here and they push it up. There's more demand, and they sell down here, right? They sell in the upper parts. Okay, so how do we know if something is like declining? Well, let's take a look at what we have going on. We have kind of decreasing volumes, but yet they're on the increase, okay? So they're increasing right now, and where are they increasing towards? They are increasing towards a sell. Also, if we take a look at this candle, let me get my little drawing thing out. This one right here, this bar. What we see is that relative volume is high, okay, and the bar after it is a down bar, and its volume is actually even higher. So what that indicates is that there's a general overall push downward, okay? So that is on the 4 hour. If we take a look at it on shorter time period, 45 minute, what do we have? Well, we have, as far as the relative candles go, yeah, we have a big sell here, but for the most part, yeah, it's going straight. But we can also see how this is the peak and it's going down a bit, right? So the angles, it's kind of like this. It's like it's almost forming, it's looking like to me that it's almost forming a crown, okay? It's real short in the time period frame, but keep in mind this time period to make this spike, that was only two bars here. This big increase, right? 2 bars and then some follow through. And now it's flat. So there's no more interest up here. Supply entered the market. Up at this range, it came up almost to the 9,000 mark, 89.59 here on BTC USD on Bitfinex. Okay, so if this was decreasing volume here, I'd be a little bit more excited. But it's actually increased right there quite a bit. So you have some sells going on. People are taking profits. But overall, if we take a look back, then we're saying, okay, well, this phase was reaccumulation. All right. What I'm actually thinking is that we're going to see a pretty big spike down, another one of these like BARTs. So I'm thinking, yeah, I might travel around here for a bit, and then all of a sudden, whammo. Okay, big old whammo. And then it might travel around here a bit, and then whammo. Down here to about the 6,900 area, we'll see. It could just keep on going, right? I mean, this thing could keep on going. And my longer term aspect of this, let me scroll out here, is for longer term, I have it right around in this range. But that's however it gets there, I don't know. You know, it can go up and could go way down, but I'm thinking it's going to get there. It didn't quite get to my box up here, which for me is a sign of weakness. Yeah, it didn't hit this range up here, which is above the 9,000 level, so it was a sign of weakness. Even on this last pump, if I take this, I'll do it from the top, make sure I don't mess up the bottom. If I take it and extend it over there, it didn't hit it. And so for me, that's a sign of weakness. That means that there's too many sellers coming in from these ranges up here to push the price down. So because of that, I'm actually looking for a test to the lower bounds area again, which would be right around, I don't know, certainly around the 8,000 and then possibly down to the 7,000. So we'll see. But anyway, if you want to call that a major move, yeah, that could happen. But for the most part, trend is your friend, and the trend is up. Okay, so that's really cool, because if we take the let's take this angle here and let's pop it up there. Okay, so there's our trend. There's one of them, and we'll take this blue one here if I can get there. Let me scroll out to the 4 hour. Grab that blue line. Okay, so that is the major line here. And yeah, so whichever way it bounces down here, what it's going to do is I'm looking for, it just did its upper bounds test. Okay, it just did an upper bounds test, and then it's going to go test the low again. And that's just what happens in the market. Plus, we're approaching some dates. We're approaching middle of June. That'll be interesting times, and the end of June will be very interesting times for like the key and some other announcements and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that. Also, there were a whole bunch of Tether that were printed, right? Yeah, a whole bunch of Tether printed. Imagine that, they turned on the printing machines again. But anyway, just looking at this, it's like almost too good to be true, right guys? Almost too good to be true. Too high, too fast. They had a bit of a slowdown here, but this is really peaked up. But don't be surprised if it does a BART like this here in this area, except the other way around. So like this, and then like, don't be surprised if it does one of those. And then it just kind of does its thing in its reaccumulation area and tests between the lower bounds and the upper bounds here. So if you're doing Wyckoff stuff, I'm actually going to call this, I would call this area up here, that would be the buying climax. Let me make it a little bit more clear. Where's my little drawing tool? Where'd it go? Anyway, I don't know. Can't find it. Oh well. But anyway, so let me squish this down a bit. There. Okay, so it popped up here, We have a buying climax here. And, well, let me switch to a different chart. Let me go to BTC USD. Let's do Coinbase. Should be cleaner. Molto bene. Okay, so we have our chart here. And then we have our buying climax. And then this point down here is a major, that's kind of like where it started, but another big line is right here. Okay, so you can call this, I'm looking at a more, like these little things in here, these are larger, I'm looking at a larger, more macro time scale. So I'm calling this as a buying climax. And let's see, it came up here. That could actually be an upper thrust where this was actually the buying climax. Let's do that. Let's call this as a buying climax. This was an upper bounds test, a UT. We had our automatic rally here, so that's a good support line. Let me scroll that out a bit. Okay, so our trading range is actually between 84 and 66. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm calling for. So here we have a buying climax. Actually, here this could actually be called the previous buying climax, a point of supply. So we can just extend that bad boy out there. So we have our PSY here. This little area here, PSY, point of supply coming in, bounced down, then it bounced way up. So this is on a more macro again. So this area between this candle, excuse me, this line and then this line, that's our trading range. So this is an upper bounds test. Let me go ahead and take that, just copy, paste, call that a UT. I'll make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so you guys seeing that? So we have an upper bounds test. And what happens after our upper bounds test? Sometimes it goes, and lo and behold, look at that. It's real close to the 9,000. Okay, great. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. So what happens after our upper bounds test? Well, if we go to Wyckoff, and then we go to, what should we do? Is that accumulation? We'll try accumulation. We'll look for pictures, images. Here we go. Okay, so this is a classic one provided by stockcharts.com. It's on Wyckoff. So we have our point of supply, buying climax, automatic rally, ST. But then the ST went above, and it doesn't have to be this exact, okay? This is like in a picture perfect world. But what I'm thinking is that it went up and it did an upper bounds test. Let's go take a look at that again. Upper bounds test. Also, addition to that, we add on the good news. Okay, so here we have a ton of good news. Watch out for good news. It's an indicator. It's an indicator of a downward trend approaching. So we have an good news. We have basically what looks like an up thrust here, upper bounds test. And we'll see whether or not it can break the 9,000. It doesn't look like it has the juice. They put an awful lot of juice in here and couldn't get that high. Too much supply coming in. Plus there's a downward indicating up bar here where we have, once again, where we have a green in the upper area on big volume. It's not the hugest volume, right? But we have an up bar here followed by a down bar. Okay, up at the top. This one doesn't qualify here because the close is actually above. You see that? Isn't that cool? And that's on smaller volume. But this one here is on relatively high volume here. Keep in mind this is on the 4 hour. Let's go back to the 45 minute. There we go. And so that's there and there. That's relatively sign. That's a sign of weakness here. And this will carry momentum downward. This still has impact of it kind of pushing up, but this is a big indication here. Big sales coming in, and that's what they do. They hide their sales up here, guys. This is where they hide their sales, okay? And everything looks good, everything looks great, but lo and behold, we're getting a whole bunch of good news while they're selling at the top. Okay, so I'm actually expecting a not so much of a correction, I would call it. A lot of people would call it a correction, but I'm just thinking that, yeah, fine, it's going to come down and do a lower bounds test. About, is it going to come all the way down? About how far? I don't know. Let's say might come down all the way in somewhere like in this range, okay? Because How would that look to you? I don't know. I'm just saying keep your eyes open for it. Check out the Wyckoff charts. Showed you how you can search for them. But yeah, so UT. What happens? It comes back down, tests the AR level. AR level on this one is... so if that's the buying climax, AR level's like right around to here. 66, 65, 68, somewhere around in that area. You could also do it off of here because that was a special candle where it's looking for stop hunting. Okay, so that one just might not quite be real because other things were going on. As far as an AR, so I'd actually call the AR automatic relay like somewhere around in here. Yeah, 69, 68, right around in that area. So let me get a little box. Come on. Let's draw a little box. We'll go from this guy up here. Okay. So yeah, that seems about right to me. But yeah, so just keep your eyes open. Not a big deal. Still in the trend. It's still way up, guys. And yeah, but be leery of good news. Okay. Be leery of good news, especially when we're way up at the top. When we're way up at the top, be leery of good news. That's about it, guys. So have a good one. I'm going to go say hi to some peeps on the chat and then take off. So hey guys, how's it going? Hey, there's Joe. So Joe's saying, yeah, I hope it has a major correction down to 3K. No, I don't think it's going to go all the way down to 3K. Let's take a look-see, though. Let's go out to longer time period. Let's go to 4 hour here. One thing you could notice... yeah, I have a lot of crap here on Coinbase, too. One thing that you could notice here is that it... it's right around here at this top here. So if we take a line and do it right about, and call it the shoulders of this one, where does that hit? Look at that. It continues onward that way. So let me scroll in on that bad boy. It goes right across that previous like little buying climax that I had at a more macro area. And it did an upwards test and stuff. So it's like the same line to the number, and that is at right around 75, 80. So right around there. So isn't that interesting? If we look far to the left at this little guy here, because we could think of this spike as being corresponding. I'll just draw a box corresponding to this guy here. And then we're in our second box, okay? That's up here. We're in our second box. Because look, it's going to come down. You know, it's going to come down. That's what I'm thinking. It's kind of like going backwards, up, okay? So yeah, correction, and look how it flatlines here along that 6,000 mark. So we'll see. We'll see. But there is room for it to come down. Is there a lot of resistance hits for it to come down? There's a few, but nothing major. So we'll see what's going on with this. But I think it's due. I mean, just look at it. I mean, come on, look at it at this scale. It's like parabolic. You know, what do you expect? Hey, there's Frey. Hola, how's it going, Frey? Glad you're watching. Joe says, yeah, I hope it pulls back to 5,500 with a wick to 48. If it does that, watch for the longs, okay? Watch for an increase in longs because it's all about creating max pain. And if there's a lot of longs there, then it would be looking to create liquidity. Keep in mind, what would create liquidity right now in this market would be a pretty... a big sell. Why is that? Because it tried doing I tried creating liquidity up here and the volume's fallen off. There's not a whole lot, okay? People don't have the money to buy. These are just tests, okay? These are tests. And so it tested the upper bound, and so now it's going to go test the lower bounds. And if it finds resistance here, i.e. people are buying, then they'll say, oh, okay, well, let's test it to the upper side again. That's just how it works, okay? Whoops. Hey, Fawad, how's it going? Doing good, man. How you doing? Any updates on the key? Yeah, there's some updates on the key. They released two, like, mark the date things in the Reddit for the 30th, where they're going to have their government evaluation, basically, and then also rollout of their chain thing or whatever. Let's go over here. I'll show you exactly instead of just guessing off the top of my head. So they're actually right here. So yeah, add to your calendar event, government evaluation, June 30th. Another one, public chain test. Wow. So if you look at the key, they're really hitting their timelines. So that's quite interesting. They're really hitting their timelines. But yeah, that's the latest greatest on the key. So we're just in wait mode. So when I get a chance, can I look at Vision X? We'll go take a look at Vision X. I have no idea what Vision X is. We'll go in here. VNX. Oh, it's way down there. Ooh, this might be interesting. See what we can see on Vision X. Is this where you can see through people's clothes and stuff like that? That might be cool. But then again, it might not be. Yeah, it's had some nice action. Only up 194% in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, okay, followed a nice pump. Took some big drops here. Yeah, okay, fine. Where can you get this guy? Qcoin. Okay. I see L Bank and I just kind of like delete it from my memory. So Qcoin, VNX, ETH and BTC pairs, way cool. Let's go over to Qcoin. VNX. One cool thing about Qcoin is that you can get the smaller coins. And with those, they have usually such a high amount to grow. Where if you look at something like XRP, what's it going to do? I mean, go up to like $3, $4. That's not a huge percentage growth, where these smaller ones like this can really go up. Okay, so it looks like you just have like people of the team doing stuff right now. As far as some solid buys, trying to prop up the price a little bit. There's not a composite operator, a CO that's interested in this one yet. So that's, that's good and bad news. This is on the 5 minute. Let's go. What am I looking at the 5 minute on this? That's not bad volume though for 5 minute on Qcoin. Qcoin has pretty legit volume, guys. Okay, so big increase here. Notice the on the buy spikes here. Notice the cyclical pattern. Yeah, then you have this garbage here. This is just all bot trading. And then they turned the bot off as soon as it got down. Isn't that interesting? Somebody turned their bots off. And then look how natural it looks in comparison. So they wanted to bump this thing down for whatever reason. They're cashing out of their coins, whatever. They have whatever. I don't know. But forget about this volume here. You know, look where it started to. How far back does that go? Yeah, it started right around in here, this garbage here. Interest fell off the face of the earth. Bots took over, and that's all the action that was happening. Oh, look, it looks like Dent. And then they turned it off. Wham. Did they or did they not? They still have them on. They changed bots on this. So this is an accumulation bot. Standard buys, standard sells. Slowly increase in volume. Bumping this thing up. Took a lot of money out of it. Even though it was a huge spike in a buy here, little effect, but it is an indication of something coming. And there was the something. So that's interesting. See how that, guys? See how that works? Don't forget to look at the volumes here. Huge indication, and this is quite interesting. See how huge this candle is? Excuse me, this volume candle. And you see how small the corresponding bar is. That should have been way up. In other words, that's a tremendous amount of downward sell pressure to keep it down in this range. So it's very controlled to bump it down, and now it's going up. So this thing is doing its thing. Seeing if there's any signs of weakness here. Boom, so that's a down. So yeah, trend is your friend. So general overall trend from this bar is general down. It's because of this bar right here. That's a lot of momentum, downward pressure momentum. But then there's a lot of strong buys here that are catching it. But where is this guy? I mean, he's down 12.8% right now. Looks like 783. This is VNX versus BTC, okay, guys? On the 4 hour. So, yeah, why do you like it? Put down in the comments why you like this guy. Okay? So far right now I'm neutral for it. Be more interesting down in this area for me. Right around in here. As far as becoming interested in it. And so we'll just see. But right now it's just following the Bitcoin thingy, right? What else about it? What do they even do? Enable AI X industry, sustainable blockchain-based incentive ecosystem to boost best AI solutions and datasets across the industry. Okay, just like lots of things. What makes them special here? Put it down. What makes them special? What makes them stand out from everybody else? Share the love. Tolar. What is Tolar? I have no idea. TOL. It's number 640. Where can you get this guy? I can get it on IDEX, I guess, if you want to do that. What do they do? Is a community-governed cryptocurrency featuring scalable, fast, secure, fair transactions, fast and fair, open source. Okay. This is a warning sign. 100% secure. Nothing. Nothing is 100% secure. So that's a red flag. Passed over 200,000 TPS, yeah. On what kind of network? Doesn't require miners to create chain of block in order to record transactions. Has static proof of stake. Master nodes for consensus. Build 200,000 plus. Okay, so they're talking. So their big thing is on, I don't know. This reminds me a lot of credits. Let's just say that. So I don't know. Do your research. Excuse me. Read their white paper. Do your research. Check them out. I'm neutral to them. They kind of remind me of credits, though. Once again, put down why you like them, why you hate them, etc. All right. So there's your 2 coins for what? Oh, and Freya was saying, yeah, he was also looking at the TKY news. Yeah, interesting stuff coming up. Dell Albert's great comment here. He says, I always say do your own research. Yeah, I do. He says, well, I did. Conclusion, I don't have enough fiat for everything. Yeah, same here, man. I mean, there's a lot of coins and stuff like that I'd like to pick up and just see what happens with them and stuff. But, you know, what do you do? What do you do? I think a lot of people are currently in that trading community that you have so aptly described there. But yeah, do your own research, and that's so. Like if you're already holding coins too, also don't forget to reevaluate them because their fundamentals tend to change over time. It's like TKY's fundamentals are increasing. VeChain's fundamentals are increasing. That means their value, the underlying intrinsic value of the project is increasing. And then you have others, other projects where the CEO is bailed. They have a total change in the direction of their philosophy that they could have been having for the last 9 years. And they say, oh no, we're going to do something else. Or all of a sudden another coin is going to change direction and do something else. And what that does is that's a fundamental change in their fundamentals. And that calls one to reevaluate. Okay, to reevaluate. It's like, think of the most I guess notorious example would be Charlie Lee taking off with Litecoin, where the founder of Litecoin bailed. Yeah, that would be a fundamental change, and where one would need to reevaluate. And if you did that, you'd say all of a sudden, well, if you looked at that fundamental and reevaluating, you're holding Litecoin, you'd say, I think I'm going to follow the leader Charlie Lee and bail. You would have been so much better off if you're holding Litecoin and bailed right around the time when he did. Anyway, it just is what it is, and so don't forget about the fundamentals and stuff. All right. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great holiday if you're in the U.S. and stuff like that. Please keep an eye on Bitcoin. It's looking kind of like high in the sky right now. So don't be all hurt and stuff if it does a correction. Checking doing a test for the lower bound areas. All right, that's about it. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, get notified, and I'll catch you later. Bye.